Although literally no one predicted that this would happen, Cenk. Today it was revealed that Exxon has applied for a waiver to the sanctions imposed on Russia just a few years back. A waiver that would allow them to resume the working relationship they had with Russian oil giant Rosneft that has been calculated to possibly be worth $500 billion or more. So they applied to the Treasury Department for a waiver. Now, how would they actually get this waiver? Well, it's semi-complicated. The State Department is among the US government agencies that, true, has a say on Exxon's waiver application. Now, the State Department is led by Rex Tillerson, who is familiar with Exxon, having run it. Now, Mr. Tillerson is recusing himself, that was announced earlier this year, from any matters involving Exxon for 2 years. I don't know why it wouldn't be for the length of his time as Secretary of State, but they've said 2 years, that's fine. And won't be involved with any decision made by any government agency involving Exxon during this period. So that was revealed earlier this year with good cause. We were worried about exactly this happening. Now, let's talk about those sanctions. The sanctions target operations with Rosneft involving the transfer of technology, banning US companies from deals in the Arctic, Siberia, and the Black Sea. The sanctions also bar specifically dealings with Rosneft's chief executive, Igor Sechin. Now, again, let's talk about the quantity of money that is possibly on offer here. Vladimir Putin has previously said that Exxon and Rosneft might invest as much as $500 billion over the life of the partnership. And just one portion of this is that the drilling in the Black Sea. The Black Sea is calculated to possibly hold 30 billion barrels of oil. And interestingly, there's a time element to this. You might say, oh, that oil's been down there for a couple 100 million years. It can wait a little bit longer. Well, it can, but Exxon can't. Under the terms of its deal with Rosneft, Exxon needs an oil discovery in the Black Sea by the end of this year to obtain a Russian government license to drill. Unless Exxon receives approval soon, there might not be time enough to safely drill an exploratory well to be able to develop any discoveries, according to oil industry experts. And by the way, that's just the Black Sea, huge amount of money there. If we're talking about the fact that Russia has a huge amount of oil in other parts, especially more north, they have all this untapped oil that's ripe for exploration, but doesn't have the equipment and expertise in its own industries to exploit it. What they need is companies like Exxon to come in with both the experts and the technology. Now, what sort of money are we talking about in total? These are just estimates, but Russia has been estimated to have $8 trillion worth of untapped oil and gas. Cool. $1 trillion. Now that is not all going to go to ExxonMobil, obviously, but if they can get a small percentage of it, that's some sweet, sweet money there.
Yeah, and it won't be a small percentage. So overall in Russia, there is untapped 100 billion barrels of oil. That's part of where you get the $8 trillion worth of money to be tapped there. Now, I had actually underestimated the size of the Exxon deal earlier. Now, we've been telling you all along that it's $500 billion over the lifetime of that deal, but it turns out it's actually $500 billion that they would invest into this project together, Exxon and Rosneft, the Russian oil company. So if you're investing $500 billion, you're expecting a return far greater than $500 billion. So Exxon's part in this and Russia's profit in this, including the oligarchs deeply tied to Vladimir Putin, is in the trillions of dollars. So now's the point where I go ahead, you tell me what I told you, right? What was the whole point of the collaboration with Russia and Trump saying, at a bare minimum, in the middle of the campaign, hey, they should hack more emails and release them. And the Russians saying, oh, what a great ally we have in Trump, right? And all of that. And again, this is not even if you don't have internal collusion on actual financial deals, just what we know in public. The point of it was the sanctions, the trillions of dollars at stake. That's why Putin wanted Trump to win. To what degree they acted to make that happen is a different question, okay? So, and how do we know that Trump wanted to return the favor to the Russians when I've been saying all along? The proof's right in front of you, or in this case, right behind me. He appointed Rex Tillerson, the CEO of ExxonMobil, that has trillions to make, as a Secretary of State.
But Cenk, you can't say that because it's impossible to separate the fact that he ran Exxon, but he also had decades of diplomatic experience.
Zero diplomatic experience.
Mainly Jake, he recused himself for 2 years. Now think about that. The CEO of Exxon has recused himself. It's like Jake, CEO of TYT, recusing himself from meetings, and therefore Irina, Jen, me, John can't put together a show unless Jake is here because we have no idea where he might go with some stories. It doesn't make any sense. He comes back and no one at Exxon knows what Exxon may want except for Rex Tillerson.
It's like me, like JR saying in the middle of a production meeting, well, I don't know where Cenk would stand on Wolfpack.
Should we cover this Wolfpack news? I don't know.
Okay, I think we know where Rex Tillerson stands on that deal, right? He's the one who pushed for it. He's the one who signed it. And because of that, in 2013, Russia gave him an Order of Friendship medal, okay? So it is not an accident that he's our Secretary of State when he had absolutely no experience. The whole point was this multi-trillion-dollar deal that they were working on and that Exxon needs by the end of the year. And lo and behold, here they are asking for that waiver. I'm gonna predict ahead of time, they get it. Our reporter Jordan Chatton broke the Donna Brazil story. He was right, she just apologized for it. Help us get more reporters like that. You're the one responsible for that. Thank you, and let's do more right now at tytnetwork.com/go.